Yeah.
And it's all good. It's all good. All right. There you go. Live stream is
hanging out with
on.
Mary.
Yeah, Mary Tennyson. Yeah, for sure.
She sent me something. Let me see what she sent me.
All right, let me see. Is this
she sent me a video of them down there.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm going to silence everybody real quick before I start, and then unmute yourselves. Do what you got to do. I got to turn this off in the background. Yeah, Mary Tennyson. Yeah. For sure. There it is. There I am talking and shit, making all loud and stuff. You throwing me off, Vicky. I got to blame someone. I ain't blaming me. Yo, hey everybody. This is Aaron Redmond. We're live. We're on Zoom, and this is our family and friends kind of thing. But today we're going to go about siblings. Siblings. You know what? Siblings can be a blessing or curse. They could be hell or heaven. You know what I'm saying? Siblings are the people that you trust the most, and sometimes they just don't live up to it. Sometimes you're not the sibling that lives up to it. You know what I mean? So I got a few siblings, and I have a few siblings that I can celebrate. None of them going to be here today that I know of. If they show up, I'm going to be very happy. But, you know, my brother, my twin, he's a Marine, an ex-Marine, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it is what it is. But I do have a nice full room filled with people that, like, you know, I love. This is my family. These are my friends. And we're going to get into, like, the sibling discussion. Does anyone want to start, or do they want me to start about my siblings? Anybody?
Hold up. I did not know this was a siblings discussion. Donna, you set me up. My brother set me up.
That's right. Oh, well, since y'all the siblings in the room, let me ask some questions. Because, you know, I'm not going to ask y'all the obvious questions that I know. Maybe I should, because no one else knows. You know what I mean? All right, who's the favorite?
Who's the favorite?
Who's the favorite? Y'all know who the favorite is.
Tony the favorite child.
Lindell all day, every day.
Lindell's the favorite for real.
Yes.
Tone's the favorite. Y'all, it used to be you, Chrissy. What happened? What you do?
I probably was the second favorite.
Before Tony,
probably me. Yeah, it was me.
It was
It was me. I ain't gonna lie, it probably was me. Yeah.
What you do? It probably was. Everybody knew you was the favorite. Who didn't know? Your father, mother, friends, family. Everybody knew who the favorite was.
I didn't. I felt like first of all, I didn't feel like I was the favorite because my little brother came and I was not whatever I thought I was. Obviously, as soon as my little brother came, that was it. Okay, my mom ain't know nothing but schmuck. She didn't know nothing but him. He couldn't do nothing wrong. I talk about nothing at all. Right, Don?
It's true. It's very true.
That's true. Well, Tony had extra things going on, though. Tony had extra things
Tony
going on.
From birth was just the baby. He was just the one, like from birth.
I think what happens is moms get numb after the years. Like with your first one, little thing, it's like it's not working out. By the third one, you're like, you know what? Just eat the dirt. It'll be all right. I got a rest.
Oh, okay.
So you think it's more about a chronological kind of love, like, you know what I'm saying? The last one is the best one because the other ones still get on my nerves. That's kind of thing. I don't know. You know what? Moms don't always love the ones who are
the youngest.
The youngest, or who are the most cooperative. You know what I'm saying? They'll love them, but sometimes they love them.
That might be right, because Donald was the most cooperating kid out of everything. Donald was the most cooperative one.
Donald was the most cooperative. He was the oldest. He was the first. You know, Donald was like the favorite child of the family before you came.
He still look. You can't tell him nothing with Grandma Joan. Okay, he is the one. He
was the favorite of the family. Yo, this boy got away with some stuff I can't explain. Look, he used to slap me awake, yo. He used to slap. I'd be asleep, totally asleep, like, you know, REM sleep. You know what I'm saying? And I would wake up to this, like, violent advance. You know what I mean? A little baby fist. I don't know. Sometimes I heard it coming. He would go to the other side of the room. And then he would run toward me. He would run toward me and then punch me in the face, yo. And I'll wake up and I'll try to kill him. And the first thing, I don't know where mom, I don't know how mom was always in the way. But she just knew probably from the smack that he was about to get beat down. You know what I'm saying? And she just went, no, you don't beat this child. He a baby.
Donald was the favorite grandchild. Donald?
Yeah.
All right, then. Okay. All right now. Okay. Yes.
He was the favorite grandchild now.
He was the favorite grandchild. Definitely.
Your mom don't do girls like that, yo.
No. Huh?
But you know what? The thing I remember most is how y'all felt about each other. Like, what's up, Abdul? Hey, how y'all felt about each other. Y'all was always fighting, but you was always in each other's corner. It was funny, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you what, there's other people in the room that I love, so I'm gonna skip over y'all. I'll come back to y'all. I'll come back. And let me see. Who's this? Abdul? Where's your brother up, Abdul? Where's your brother at, man?
He's muted.
I'm gonna unmute you, Abdul. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Can't hear you, brother. You gotta unmute yourself.
Oh, here we go.
There you go.
I think I'm on now,
all right. Yeah.
Wasn't working at first, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's probably running errands. You know, he's a dad. So.
Everybody, this is my cuz. He's a successful guy. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't seen him in literally about 15.
I haven't seen you in 15 years.
Whew.
Yeah.
See, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this so we could see each other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you know, so the family love, the friend love, whatever kind of love is out there. I just wanted to make sure.
When I saw you, you didn't have the gray.
Yeah, I didn't have all. I didn't have this either, man. I wasn't, you know, I didn't have this. I was like, you know, I was like a person working at an office. Now I'm like a person working at a garbage station, yo. It don't matter though. I got all the look. I don't care. But it's all good, man. It's all good. What are you up to these days, man?
I'm just working, man. You know, I have my full-time job, and I'm just thankful to God that I can do it from home or anywhere, as long as I have a table to put a computer on or two computers on. Then I have my own production company, so it's getting busy. It's getting busy, man. It's getting busy.
That's hot, man.
Yeah, man. It's been a while. You know, I've been in the same business for a long time now, so
yeah, we were talking about that last night.
Yeah,
you're a lucky guy, man. Well, not lucky. You worked, you earned it. That don't come from luck, right?
Yeah, the luck came from working all the time, right, and sacrificing.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So yeah,
being available.
Yeah, that's the thing. Say again.
Being available.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Being available or unavailable, right? Depending on how you look at it.
That too.
Yeah,
well, I'm gonna move around the room. There's a few people, and when your brother get here, or if any of your sisters get here, we'll talk then, okay?
Okay, yes, sir.
All right. What's up, Eric? How you been, man? Do I gotta unmute you too?
There you go. I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, man. Siblings, man. Hold on. How many siblings do you have?
So for my mom, I have one. From my dad, there's 16 of us.
What? Jesus.
Yeah.
Busy.
Yo, I got a brother who's 10 days younger than I am.
10 days.
10 days, yeah.
Pops was not playing. Pops had the player sign on his chest, yo.
Yo, my mom and his mom would pass each other on the street. And she'd be like, yo, your baby looks familiar. And then his mom be like, yo, your baby looks familiar too.
Oh,
the whole time we were brothers.
That's quite a life, man. That's quite a life. Do you know him?
No, so the one is 10 days younger than I am. Him and I are close. And that's one who I go to South Carolina NC.
2 out of
And of course,
16.
yeah. And then, I mean, that's all we know about. There might be more.
Wow.
So my dad was actually married, and he was actually married, and within his marriage and his household, there was 5 of them. So the rest of us are project babies.
So he was married, but he was still dipping the stick everywhere else.
That's not the
was
first time I've heard that.
Yeah,
I
he was a
worked with a
cop.
guy that had 25 kids out of the projects.
Yeah, he was a cop, so he was able to move around. So he just moved around because he was a cop. He was a police officer. So.
Oh, so he had like his home life and then his outside life, which is very. Dang, man, I ain't know that. That's. He wasn't playing. He was out there, man.
Oh no, it sounds to me like he was playing too much.
Yeah, right.
No, it sounds to me like he had a mission, yo. Get them all.
He's got to get a football team and a basketball team.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm gonna run all this. You know what I mean? But let me ask you. Here's another question, right? Who are you closest to with your siblings? I mean, do you have any particular one that you would say is you're closer to than anyone else? You know, because every sibling has a person. Like every person who has a sibling has a person that's the person that I kind of roll with most times. You know what I'm saying? If I want to call somebody, that's the sibling I call. You know what I'm saying? Do you have like a main kind of a connection with any of your siblings?
No, I don't. Because with my brother, I could talk to him about certain things, and then of course with my sister, I could talk to her about certain things. But I don't have that combination with both of them.
Got you. But we know who my main is. I was born with him, so yeah.
You guys shared like more than anybody else.
Yeah. But you know what? It's not always wonderful, but it is always wonderful. You know what I'm saying? The thing about being a twin is you have a kind of a language and a body language. You have like you know each other so much that you can tell by body language what's going on with each other. You know what I'm saying? And but you don't always know what each other's thinking, because he surprises me sometimes. I'm like, what the hell? But it's all good. It's all good. I don't really have much more to say about that, but I was going to talk to, maybe I won't talk to you two because I don't want to start a fight. Rob, do you have siblings? A lot of siblings, man?
Yes, sir. Actually, I am the baby boy of the family. And I say that because my mother had 3 kids. Her first marriage, her husband died. My father had a couple kids with his first. They weren't marriages, but my father had a couple kids. So I was the only one, that was, the outcome of them both. And so it's like when you're the baby boy, like the closest one in age is 9 years and up. So it's like, I got my oldest sibling is 15 years older than me. So I never grew up with that buddy, close relation. Don't get me wrong, I'm close with all of them. They're in other parts of this country right now, in Texas and stuff like that. A couple of them are in Philly, but for the most part, more than half of them are out of the state. Again, by the time I'm in, say, kindergarten, one is, going away into the services. A couple, I remember, I think I told you on the train how most of my brothers, because their dad had died, got a chance to go to Milton Hershey back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I grew up babysitting their kids and stuff like that, but it's like I end up making some of my younger cousins more like my little, pseudo little brothers and stuff like that, because just the age gap, especially when you're young, you just can't relate to people who are that much older than you. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, my oldest brother, again, I'm 47, so he'll be like, I think he's about 61 or 62, whatever. He gave me a role model, because of that age difference. So like he set the bar high where, he took his education from Milton Hershey, and I'm going to Hampton, end up, getting married, having kids. And that was like the blueprint for like the rest of my brothers. Like, for the most part, we all got married and had kids and stuff like that, just because we seen it. What I'm saying? We seen how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
So it was great. And again, I have to admit, I was a little spoiled because once again, by having them that age gap, they're out in the working field being successful, and I'm like 10 years old. So I get, the cool gifts for Christmas and stuff like that. So in a perfect world, what I wish, that I had a brother 2 years older, or a sister, a little sister or something like that. But again, we have a big family on my mother's side. So there was always somebody that I could kind of like. I have a cousin that is 1 year younger than me. So she kind of grew up as my little sister because she grew up right around the corner. I
Gotcha.
got other close family members within, but like no one's near my age with regards to siblings. But again, even with my sister's kids, like my sister's oldest is only 9 years younger than me. So he was the one that, I took playing basketball when he was a young boy. He was the one when it was coming to learn how to drive, Big Unc was the one that took him to do these things and stuff like that. So like I said, you miss some of the things because of the age gap, but at the same time, it comes back around when you're able to be that sage uncle to give all the wise advice. And for the most part, I got a pretty simple, head on my shoulders when it comes to giving out advice and stuff like that. So I wanted to get sidetracked a little bit. I wanted to ask Eric if he doesn't mind. Like my dad also had a couple kids that I will haven't met and that will never meet. I just know they exist. Does it change and I know we're talking about siblings, so I apologize, Aaron, and stuff like that for kind of sidetracking, but does it affect when you are born into these circumstances, does it make you like, do you set out and say, you know what, I'm gonna be this different sort of dad because of the way I came about? Like that's what I took it when I knew about my dad's history and kind of again these ghost siblings that never came that exist that I'll never meet, and I could probably walk past down the street and I'll never know.
Yeah, actually it did, but that wasn't the only factor for me. I mean, the other factor for me is that like I blamed him for a lot because of course I went to Norton Hershey, Um, I blamed him because he took care of the five that he lived with and none of the rest of us. The rest of us were just on our own, So I never even had the opportunity to, well, I'm not going to say it. If I passed him on the street, I would never even know who he was. So I never even had that opportunity to meet him one-on-one. So yeah, so now that my children are all grown, I made sure that I had that bond with them, that they always knew that I was there for them. They lived with me all their lives. Like I made sure that they're well taken care of because I never wanted to be an absent dad like he was.
Gotcha. Like I said, that's what jumped out at me because we try to be better than our parents. And again, I don't want to sidetrack, Aaron's thing too
Go
much,
ahead,
but
man.
like
Go ahead.
when you see the mistakes your parents make, and again, our fathers, a lot of them aren't perfect. God bless you if yours are, whoever's is out there. But it's like I saw the mistakes that my dad did, and so I said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to be this dad. I'm not going to be this sort of husband. And by the way, I put 22 years of marriage in a couple months ago. Sorry, Aaron.
That's what's up.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, you're here to talk. It's a phone conversation, man. We supposed to be talking to each other. It's all good.
I
It's
know.
all good.
I don't want to go too off topic. That's all.
Oh, I would have stopped you. Don't worry. You're good. Attila, unmute yourself. Unmute you. I know you have to go soon.
Yeah.
So I said, let me talk to my cuz. Do you see your sibling in here?
Hey,
Yeah, I see my
cousin.
big brother, Adula. Hey, Adula.
Okay. Now I can ask real questions, right?
Uh-oh.
But first, I'm gonna ask you first. Like, who's your favorite sibling? Don't lie now.
No,
Why you
I
want to
have a
start
favorite.
family feud?
I love them all. It's well, altogether it's 6 of us. But
Mhm.
I do love them all. I really do.
Typical mom. Abdullah, who's the favorite sibling? Come on, Abdullah. Hold on. Unmute yourself, Abdullah. Unmute yourself.
Why are you starting trouble in the family?
No, yeah, I mean, there's, it's funny how, and I guess I would have to thank my father for that, because we don't have like favorites, and he raised us that way.
Really?
Yeah. And,
yes.
My dad was really, he was very adamant, and he was very conscious about how he raised us, and that was one of the most important things that he just held fast to that belief. He said nobody's better than the other. Nobody's gonna, he's just, that's the way he raised us. And it's like, and it wasn't it wasn't like he forced it down our throats either. It was just one of those things that he knew what he was doing there.
That's
and
what's up.
If you ask me, if you ask yourself, if you ask Tilla, if you ask Camilla, they'll all say the same thing. All of us will give you the same answer when it comes to who's the favorite. I mean, because, we all grow up and, we all have our own lives, and then, you end up connecting on a different level later on in life.
Right.
So there are people, they're like brothers and sisters that I'm closer to than the other. But I mean, we don't have favorites. But like I'll speak to yourself and Attila probably more than everybody else. But
Okay.
I speak to everybody. So.
Oh, we're losing you.
And then Attila and I just always had a bond, because I don't know. We just always had a bond.
You did.
And that's just what it is. But I mean, my sister Camilla, we relate on certain levels. My brother Jamal, we related on a lot of levels up until recently. And so yeah, it was it's just what it is.
Come on. Have I ever met Jamal?
Yes, you have.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the one that he lives the furthest away because he's in Vegas. But yeah, and he's not around very often. But
that's why I know him.
Yeah.
I was away for years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, that's why I know. But it's all good. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. But okay, I'm not going to even ask you the question, because you got this healthy shit going on with your family. I'm not even going to bother.
No.
Pretty much.
You can ask us, Uncle. You can ask me and Don. Say.
No, but I mean,
It's pretty much.
You can
Go ahead. You can spill the beans now.
Yeah, I mean, what's kind of interesting is that, we all grew up in the same household, except for our oldest sister, Lisa, because she's our half sister. So we all grew up together, and we all grew up together in poverty. And so we were all very close to each other anyway. We all had the same problems we were dealing with. We had the rats waking us up at night. We had wanting to get a snack in the kitchen. We had to make sure one of us grabbed a buddy and to go down there, because, we were afraid of the roaches, and it was just, it's what it was, so we all bonded, and we all were tight, because it was just my dad and us, because mom and dad split up. So it was just my dad and us, so that really helped tighten our bond, because it was, it was a rough neighborhood. We had to stick together, and it was just my dad. And he had a full-time job, and he was going to college. And so we had to, we're at home by ourselves.
We had to learn how to look out for each other.
Right. That's all we had was each other. And Adula used to cook dinner some nights. Some nights I had to cook dinner. We would always come home. We was a keychain children. So we had,
Me too.
And Aunt Joan taught me how to cook rice at 7 years old.
That sounds like mom. She taught me about that age too.
She taught me how to cook rice. She came over and taught me how to cook rice at 7 years old. Mom and dad split. So, it was, It was,
That's so sweet. I can't relate to cooking, right, Don? Not relate to cooking.
Never a day in her life since we was teenagers.
Oh,
For
stop
real?
it.
No,
I did all
that
the
was
That's just sad.
everything.
That breaks my heart.
That was everything. I did not
I
cook.
cooked
I
everything.
cooked
I
everything.
did.
We had rice with everything though. We ate rice with everything.
Uncle Aaron taught me how to cook at
I was about to say I should have never taught you that much.
Yeah, I ain't
The
never
same
cooked.
thing
I
happened to
ain't
me. When they found out I can cook, that's all the errands to cook now.
Yep.
I was stuck with cooking and cleaning the damn dishes. I was mad. Woo! I was mad.
Hated washing and drying them too. I hated that part.
I think I might have cleaned my own clothes, but I want to say Donald used to put my stuff away for me, right? Didn't you, Donald? You told me to clean up my room. I don't think y'all remember do everything. Didn't you, Donald?
Chrissy remember everything.
Look, she all eating on YouTube Live and telling everybody stuff.
The only thing we were forced to do together was wash the clothes. We washed the clothes together.
Yeah, Don did everything.
Well, at least you did something.
That's cousin.
She didn't do that. She just walked. She just walked with me. That's it. We had to go to the laundromat like 3 blocks away. We had a laundry like 3 blocks away.
Oh yeah, I forgot we did,
So
and we
I
had to
pushed
do
the
grocery
cart.
shopping together sometimes too. We had to do grocery shopping. Yeah,
Yeah, we all grow fast, and we all had to grow fast.
We all had to grow up fast, all of it. It's like generation to generation. No, your turn, your turn. You know, but look at us now. You know what I'm saying? Look at us now. We're independent. You know what I'm saying? We're able to pay our own bills. We don't have to worry about things getting cut off. You know what I mean? You know, the wealth is moving. It's moving in the right direction.
I know how to cook, Donald. I know how to cook now, okay? I want you to know that. I know how to. I did. I moved
an open invitation when you having dinner for everybody.
You know what I'm saying?
Atlanta now.
Whoa.
Atlanta, baby.
I had to start learning how to cook when I got down here because it was like I ain't had nobody cook for me no more. I don't even know nobody out here. This is messed up. So yeah, I can cook now.
All right, I'm gonna mute everybody, right? I'm gonna mute everybody. Attila, thanks for coming by. I know you got to go, or can you stay a little longer? What you want to do?
I can stay a little longer. I can stay for like at least 5 more minutes. I can stay a little longer.
All right. Well, I'm done talking to you anyway until the next, till I get back to you. I got a thing to do. There's a lot of people in here, yo. I gotta move on. But stay. If you need to leave. If you're going to pop back in. It's up to you. It's all up to you. But I'm gonna mute everybody because I don't want to hear nobody talking crap about me, man. I don't want to hear that. Now, Vicky, unmute yourself, Vicky.
What?
Vic, do you have siblings, right?
My sister was almost 11 years older than me. I lost her 22 years ago in 1999. She pretty much helped raise me. It was just me and mom and my sister. She had a kid when just as she turned 14 or 15. She had my niece who ended up 5 years younger than me. And then crazy story. My sister and I both had different dads. My mom and my dad broke up when I was a baby. She kept me away from them for a little while. Actually, I lived with them for a little bit and then I moved away and that was it. I didn't see them since I was 3. When I was 29, I get a phone call from my grandfather. My grandfather lived in the same house for over 30 years. And my grandfather calls me. He says, I have somebody here that wants to talk to you. And he's like, you don't have to if you don't want to. Because I had always heard bad things. He didn't want me. I wasn't a boy. He wanted a boy. And so I'm like, well, who is it? And he's like, it's your father. I was like 29 years old. I had 3 kids, I'm just like, and here he is. So I said, put him on the phone. I mean, you got to hear him out, right? You can't you can, but whatever. So I talked to him and I have a brother 5 years younger than me. He got his boy and they both came over and we met. I met my brother for the first time. I saw my father for the first time since I was little. I can barely remember. I think I saw him in a Dunkin' Donuts once and he bought me a donut, so, and we got a relationship going. My brother and I are not very close. I think just not growing up together makes a big difference. And we didn't, not that we hate each other or anything, it just didn't really click. And for those that don't know, my father was Puerto Rican. My brother is full-blooded. I'm only half. Obviously, I look not at all. So he lives over in North Philly, and it's a totally different environment than where I was living. So we were like two totally different lives. Once every year or so, we'll message each other, hey, you okay? I'm okay, that type of thing. I'm down in Florida now. Like I said, my sister passed. I learned a lot from her mistakes. Oh, and to the end of that story, my mom had been over my house, and she was having problems in my car. I knew my pop knew how to fix cars, and I said, well, Pop's coming over, why don't you have him look at it? She's like, no. Come to find out, she was nervous about seeing him again after all these years. A couple months later, they were dating, and within a year they were married.
What?
So I finally wasn't a bastard. I had a set of parents, and they were the right ones at the age of 31.
At the age of 31.
At the age of 31.
That is hilarious. That's
my
funny.
mom became Mrs. Gonzalez. So there's
you
that.
brought them back together. Look, every child's dream at 31, right?
And unfortunately, a few years after that, he did pass from prostate cancer.
Oh,
so no. It's sad, but not that sad. I got to meet him. I got to form a relationship with him. I gained several nieces and a brother, although we aren't close. They're still there. It's something it's not a total loss. So it was sad, but it was still, I think it was a good thing. It cleared up a lot of things of what I heard when I was growing up. Nothing beats firsthand knowledge. But my sister, I learned a lot from her. You guys talk about who's the favorite, who's not. My sister and I used to fight constantly, mostly because she was older than me and she was left to keep charge of me. She had to babysit me all the time. It's not fair, but it happens. Mm-hmm. And once I started growing up, that's when her and I started fighting. Now, Aaron, you remember me when I was in the mill? I was this big?
Yeah,
my sister was not. She was kicking like 350. And her and I used to fist fight, so she'd sit on me, and it's not fair. It's not fair. But I mean,
well, as a fat boy, I know how to do that too. I used to sit on
just sit on my stomach. God. Anyway, but I think it was a power struggle because at that point, like you said, we all had to grow up fast. I grew up, and because I ended up leaving Milton Hershey the middle of my junior year, and I went home. And my mother worked in the theater, so she did costumes, so she was home late at night. She wasn't home from early afternoon till late at night. So I pretty much had to do whatever I do. And my mom wasn't, she wasn't, I don't want to say she was a bad mom. She was a flighty mom and a more offhands mom type thing. Like, as long as you're not dying, okay, type mom, And I ended up getting a job in the middle of my junior year, and I've worked. I mean, I went to school. I was the one that grew up and went to school. I didn't have the kids, when I was a teenager. I had a job. I graduated high school. I even did some college. My sister didn't do that. I learned from her mistakes, though. You guys talked about learning. Eric mentioned, he didn't want to be like his dad. He learned from what his dad did. Well, I learned from what my sister did. I didn't want to do the drugs. I didn't want to go down that path. Now, I never got married, but I did have a child, but not until after I was out of high school. I was 21 when I had my first kid. I mean, I'm not discounting anybody that's had kids early, but because my sister did that, I didn't want to do that. And not that I hated her either. I just knew it didn't work out so well for her. And then the drugs progressed, and then she ended up passing at the age of 38. So I'm older than my sister now.
Lord, I didn't know that much about you, yo. I didn't know all that stuff was going on.
Nobody ever asked me about. Nobody knew I had a sister. Even in the mill, nobody knew I had a sister. She was 11 years older. Nobody knew.
Wow.
Yep. So Gina's my sister. For those that don't know, Gina's my best friend since Milton Hershey. We've been best friends since our freshman year in high school, over 35 years now.
Yeah, y'all live together and everything, y'all.
Yeah, we lived together for a
like
while.
they
And
just
everything,
happy.
yeah.
They just happy, and then don't have to. It's kind of nice to have somebody that you can do that with. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. We might as well be sisters. She called my mom. Her grandmother. I called her grandmother Meemaw. She helped me when my mom passed. I helped her when her Meemaw and her aunt passed, and her dad. So we've been family. I meld in with her family. She melds in with mine. It's one with the other all the time. And I'll be
That's
up there,
great.
by the way, in Pennsylvania. I'll be up in February for Becca. Gina's daughter's getting married finally in February.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. I love Gina. Gina's all right. You picked a good one.
She is. Yeah, her and I'm the crazy one. She's the more sedate one. Eric knows.
Yeah, definitely.
How's your leg, Eric? How's your leg?
I'm still sore, still hurt.
I just got that little dog sweater.
What? One of the dogs bit Eric's leg? Eric got bit?
My mom's dog, Chester, the little black dog. He's sorry, guys, he's racist and I can't help it. Nobody taught him that. Came natural. And Eric was staying at Gina's one time. He went to go to the bathroom and Chester went after him and bit him.
That's the best kind of love. when your sister,
I didn't want that
racist dog bites you, yo. What the hell? What kind of shit?
Sorry.
What kind of shit is that?
No, it was a black dog though. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? It was a black racist dog, yo. Eric probably did some shit. That dog saw it and bit his ass.
He walked past the bedroom to go to the bathroom, and
that was enough. He was walking in the house. Black man walking.
Walking while black.
That shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. All right, I'm gonna move on. Thank you, Vicky. I'm glad that you shared that. You can come time on in, anytime you want. Let me see. Elfie, unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
I'm doing all right. Okay, I know you have a sibling or maybe even more. I don't know. So what you got to speak on siblings about? I'll leave it up to you.
Well, I kind of resonate with a little bit of what everyone said. You're talking about favorites. You were talking about finding out you have siblings that you'll never know how or where, or even where to begin to find them. My parents got divorced when I was 6. And for my mom and dad, it's me and my brother, but he was married previously. So I had my sister from his first marriage. And then after my parents got divorced, he got remarried. I have a brother from that marriage. And then when my dad passed away in 96, come to find out, I met a sibling there. She was only 5 and I was 35. And come to find out there was like 3 other more with 3 other different women in 3 other different countries. So where to begin to find them? But that kind of caused a rift with the youngest sibling because he felt, I guess, the most betrayed by our father for stepping out. Whereas, I kind of already knew my dad was a player and that's what he did. Because relationship I had with him after the divorce, I would work for him in the summer times and I'd see him hit on women left and right, even though he had a wife back home. So that's kind of something my half brother, Greg, wasn't privy to. And I was, but then, how do you approach that subject with your sibling? And I'm sure my sister from his first marriage knew even more than I did, because she was the oldest. And, God bless her soul, she passed away when she was 35 from cancer. But, so it was just me and my brother from our parents' marriage. We were the closest. Even when we went to the mill, I got sent there when I was 15. And my brother went the year after. And he's 4 years younger than me. So for the most part, prior to that, he and I have always been very close because I'm 4 years older. So yes, I was responsible for taking care of him and doing all the chores around the house because my mom, single mom, 2 kids, she was working and we were latchkey kids. So, learned how to do the cooking, the cleaning and everything. And touching on favorite child, in my perception was that he was the favorite because all the responsibilities fell on me. I was his caretaker. And it kind of just.
Oh, you were the oldest. You were the oldest. You know how that goes. The younger ones
I know how that
prefer,
goes. Yeah. But then you get at a certain age, he went, he joined the Navy, comes back from the Navy. Now he's a big dude and he's physically bigger than me, so he's the man. So you would think, I'm the girl. So, a little protection here or something, but, it never really worked out that way. I'm still in that caretaker role.
Yeah, the dynamic don't change between brothers and sisters like that. It don't just jump just because he a man, No, you will always be the sister that took care of him.
Yeah. So, and then, I know a couple of weeks ago, I touched upon, the betrayal and the forgiveness, and he did something that I honestly don't think I can forgive. And it's hard to forgive. And it's just very hard to forgive. Like it was a really great betrayal. And I don't want to speak upon it because he's not present to defend himself.
You don't have to.
It betrayed my family. So I had to choose between my children or my brother. Of course, I'm going to choose my children.
Of course.
Yeah. So it's kind of like being stuck between a rock and a hard place.
You don't know which way to go. You know which way to go, but it hurts.
It hurts. Yeah. And then, it's just a sincere apology would have been enough. Maybe. But I haven't even gotten that. So it's just hard to speak about siblings. And then, going to the mill, it was, I don't know, even though they had rules and regulations and, curfews and this and that, like there was a certain freedom in that for me that I did not experience at home since I was allowed to go to school and come straight home. That's all I was allowed to do because I had to take care of my brother. So, going to the mill, doing chores, piece of cake. I've already been doing that. Like, curfew, piece of cake. I never got to go anywhere. Like, you mean I can't actually join an activity? So it was nice to have. I don't know if anyone's ever described the mill as freedom, but it was, in my experience. But then our relationship, him being there, at the mill, since we were in different divisions, I wish they did more activities that would have included that sibling together, because I think that's where the separation of our bond started, because we barely saw each other except maybe once a week on Sunday when we went to church, on the bus and that and the activities, or if we were taken out on the weekend, because we weren't in the same division. We didn't see each other at school.
So you never really saw each other at all.
Correct, even though he was in the same school as I. But I mean, that's what I have to say about siblings. And then trying to find the ones that you have in the bond. I did get a chance to reconnect with my youngest sister that I met. We've met up. It's great. She wanted to know about our father because she was only 5, so she barely knew him. And, so any tidbits of information I can give her, it was great doing that. And we had a little back and forth going on, but it kind of fizzled out. But I respect the boundaries too. It's like, I'm not going to force myself upon your family.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm here if you need me.
I wouldn't do that. Look, I think coming out of the mill, we were separated from the ones we loved the most. And so we grew up in a different atmosphere and environment. You know what I mean? The language was different. The way we acted was different. And I can remember, when I think I mentioned this before, graduating from the mill, I came home. I thought I was going to be coming to all this great family love, you know what I'm saying? And they looked at me like I was a weirdo, a goofy, you know what I'm saying? They look at the way he dressed and look at the way he talk, yo. You know what I mean? And it's okay. You know what I mean? How can you expect someone to keep that 10-year-old love going all the way up till adulthood? And then, hey, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? As a child, you think that you don't understand because your fantasy in your mind says, well, they will always love me. With you got that 10-year-old love. You know what I'm saying? When I went there, I was 10. So I had 10-year-old love, you know what I'm saying, for my fam. But by the time I graduated, everybody was adults. So my little 10-year-old love that I thought was coming to me didn't come, right? And it's because they didn't know me. I was a stranger. You know what I mean? So I understand exactly how you feel. You know what I mean? I think it's even worse for you because you knew he was there, but you didn't really get a chance to see him like that. You know what I mean? You only saw him on vacations. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Like, yeah, that bond, like, even though, you're older now. So back then, of course I hated having to come home and take care of him and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's like I pretty much raised him through his pubescent years, because it was me that was there to take care of him. And I had to go pick him up from school. And I had to go to his school and beat up all the young little boys that were picking on him and things like that. That was me. I'm the one that was there. I would go and talk to the teachers and the principal because my mom had to work. She wasn't available, and let alone she didn't speak the language. So it was just me. I was basically his guardian. And then, going into the milk, that kind of just like, that responsibility was no longer there. So
you were free. You were free to be your own, your own person. You didn't have to.
And discover things that I liked doing. Yeah, I didn't have to take mom's place, and he was. So it was like, I don't know. It's like a blessing and a curse at the same time because, it's like I don't know. It's like, yes, you had that bond growing up, and at the same time, that was like the beginning of the end of our sibling bond.
It almost sounds like a trade-off to me. Like you were doing all this caretaking and everything, and you went into the milk, so you were able to be a little girl again and still have the chores and normal stuff. But it seems like you traded off that special, tight relationship with your brother to get that.
Yeah. It's like, and it isn't until like now, like saying it out loud, that it's like resonating even more because you're exactly right. That's exactly what it was. It's like, I never said it out loud before. Yeah. It's just like,
Did that disconnect continue like after school?
Unfortunately, it did. It did. Like the disconnect of the bond has continued and still has. Like he honestly lives maybe 2 miles away from me, and I haven't seen him in 2 years. Or a phone call, or a text. And, our mom passed earlier this year. There still has been no communication. I reached out, but I didn't get any communication. So I'm not the one that I chose my children. Is the only thing I've done to him, and I think any parent in the situation that we were in would have chosen their children.
That's right. But you know what? You can still love them, just love them as far as you have to love them, and hope that one day things change. Because the one thing I lived to find out that I never knew what will happen is that the older you get, the more you're able to let go some childish things. Because those, things that happen when you're a child, it still affects your relationship when you're an adult with your brothers and sisters. And I learned that I had to just let all that go. Let my expectation go of these people. You know what I'm saying? Don't. I had to not I had to let them be who they are. This is who, with my fam, I have people in my immediate family that I just don't talk to. You know what I'm saying? And that just don't want to talk to me. I didn't do anything, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? And I look at it this way. You know what I mean? All I wish for them is good health, happiness, and joy. It does not have to be with me. I'd rather they be happy, whatever they're doing, wherever they're at. So you know, because it frees you up. You don't have to. You know, it takes up a spot in your life.
It does, and yeah, and you have to like. So you don't dwell on it. It's good to speak about it about time. You know, it's good to like let it out. Don't hold it in. Don't let it weigh you down. And yeah, time waits for no one. You know, life keeps going. So be present.
My brother, I said we don't talk much. We're friends on Facebook and everything, and I'm friends with his wife and his oldest daughter on Facebook. You know, they never told me his oldest daughter was even pregnant. I found out that she had a baby on Facebook.
Wow. I found out my brother got married on Facebook.
Yeah. And you know, at first I was kind of hurt. I'm like, man, yeah, you got my phone number. We're friends on Facebook. You couldn't message me something. And that's when, like Aaron said, sometimes you just have to let stuff go. I don't think, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it's out of them not caring about me or anything. We just never really made that connection because we didn't grow up together. So while we care about if we're okay, with last time we had a conversation, I really felt less comfortable talking to him than I do you guys right now. It was just awkward.
Yeah, like and I can open up with you guys.
Yeah.
I haven't seen some of you in 35, 37 years. So yeah, it's like, hey, you guys are my family. You know what I mean? Like, you understand.
Bubba, when was the last time you and I saw each other? Eric, when was the last time we saw each other?
It's been years.
It's been years.
I think at the same amount of time with that doula.
But every time we see each other, it's like right where you left off. Hey, how you doing? Let's go ahead. And that's another thing, you know, you're saying siblings. You can't discount that any one of us that went to the mill, a lot of us have created bonds that just don't go away.
True.
Just don't.
Very true.
You know?
It's very similar to a sibling bond. You know what I mean?
And I know that everybody's like, oh, we're all brothers. Not all of us. All right, guys. Not every Milton Hershey person is going to love every other Milton Hershey person.
No.
You know, it's just not going to happen. But I feel like some of the ones that we have created bonds with, I could tell you maybe less than a handful of people that have not experienced that kind of, but they went to regular high schools that never spoke to a high school person, couldn't tell you who they went to school with, never knew what was going on. And I keep on telling them, I said, I can't explain that bond. It's like you grow these family members right there. You've got all these instant, you know, brothers and sisters, and none of us looking alike. Obviously, you know.
But we all grew up together. We all grew up together, and we all shared things that families share. We all
had the same rules. We all had the same chores. We all had.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Now I'm going to move on, you guys. I'm going to move on from you guys because I got two more people I haven't said anything to, and I'm going to get to Carmen. Carmen is driving. I don't know if I can get to Carmen. Can I get to Carmen?
Good evening. Carmen doing.
Look at the baller. The baller. I'll tell you, y'all.
So I'll be really brief, okay? I have two blood siblings. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have two blood siblings, and the same father, same mother. Long story short, I went to the milk when I was 10. And, you know, I would come home to, I first initially lived in the Bronx, New York. They put me on that bus, Milton Hershey. I was devastated, first of all. My mom never had that explanation that I'm going to Milton Hershey, and then I didn't speak English. So fast forward, my oldest brother was already at the house. And then my middle brother, I'm the baby. So the next one was in the Bronx, New York. And I was so traumatized. I would walk in the door from this visit. I thought the same thing. I was going to get the red carpet. You're the sister of the world. We miss you. That they miss me. Nope. Got picked up at the Greyhound. Went to the 1-bedroom studio full of cockroaches, and it was like something like I never like he was in his own world. Like I don't know, and I was like craving like to have conversation with him, and I wonder why he was lazy and spoiled by my mom, and I was confused. I was like, really, I miss how we played together when we were always alone together when we were growing up in Puerto Rico, because we were like always by ourselves and eating a lot of cereal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And all of a sudden, when I went to Milton Hershey, I didn't know what happened to our bond. I was so hurt because we're only like 13 months apart. What really hurt me too was he became my worst enemy the rest of my life. He envied me. Well, first of all, he thought I was in some kind of resort. But when you go to the Bronx, New York, in a studio apartment full of cockroaches and mice, I was really at a resort. But he somehow thought I was, like, I don't know, getting a silver spoon in my mouth in Old Hershey, where he was getting the silver spoon. So I was really hurt that we became each other's to this day. When my mom passed away, actually my 2 blood brothers passed. They died in my eyes too. They were very, very so mean to my mother, and my mom did everything. Everything really for them. So, but I craved the one that's 13 months apart. We were so close grown up that it broke my heart that we're so far apart. And obviously I'll never forgive him because he physically abused my mom in 2018. But I couldn't believe it. I was craving that love. I would come home, and then after a while, I don't even want to come home. What for? Like my brother, he's not the person I knew that I was growing up in Puerto Rico. We climbed a tree together. I was like a boy. I was a tomboy in Puerto Rico, and he was that one that taught me everything. Until 10 years old, and Milton Hershey was a great thing for me, but our relationship went left. I thought, I would come home and I said, Mom, why is he so entitled? He don't even do chores. He's disrespected. He's so entitled. And I think he looked at me like a weirdo, the way I spoke, like you said, the way I dressed. And I thought he was a weirdo the way he acted. So we just grew apart. No regrets of going to Milton Hershey because I have lifelong family, but I don't. Those siblings, it just doesn't exist. My mom did not know how to change that, and I try to ask my brother, how can we rekindle our relationship back in 2015? But he was too far gone. He does have mental health issues in the sense of he's a very angry person. I'm not really sure why. And he didn't want it. I tried, but he didn't want it. And then after 2018, when he did that to my mom, that was it for me. That's about it. That's all I wanted to share.
Okay, I don't know why, but my twin is calling me on the phone right now. I don't know he getting on my nerves, y'all. He's on my nerves. Yo, Carmen, I'm sorry about that phone ringing, but I get it. Look, when you're separated from your siblings, you're separated. You grow up different. You become different people. And a lot of times the things that you thought you had in common as children, that's long gone by the time you get back together. So, all I can say is just keep the love up.
Not only did my brother, somehow he thought I was in some resort, but actually Milton Hershey is a resort compared to how I was growing up, okay? In the sense of how pretty it was, but then not only did my brother didn't really know my reality that I was in Milton Hershey, my cousins in Puerto Rico, my family didn't even know. So I get it, and it is what it is. I have no regrets. I just love my Milton Hershey family. Our sisters say, we don't love everybody, but the fact that I can always run to a lot of people instead of just 2 siblings, blood siblings that I barely know, I'm very grateful for that. Thank you for the opportunity to talk.
No problem, no problem. Now I want you to get back on and pay attention to that road, because you can't be crashing while you on my joint, yo.
Bye, family. Love you.
Love you. You take care.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if Lisa Smith is going to speak, because Lisa, you know, we had a talk last night, and she unmuted. Are you gonna say anything, Lisa? Do you want to speak? It's up to you, girl.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. My situation was different from y'all's. As one of the Shockleys.
One of the many.
One of the Shockleys. We were family. Just like we were at the milk, we were family. When we were home, we were family. As adults, we look out for each other. We help out each other. We are family. So my mom instilled that in us, and I am grateful for what she did for us. I'm grateful for going to the milk, because it completely changed my life. It completely changed the track that we were on, and that she was a single mom. My dad had died. Our house had went down in a flood of Agnes. We had absolutely nothing. And my brothers went first in 1972. And they were like, we went swimming. We rode horses. Wow. We were on the high dive. We were part of the Boy Scouts. I was like, and we at home. Sign me up. When do I get to go? I want to go to Milton Hershey. And in 1977, they started accepting girls. And I couldn't wait. Mom said, you want to go? Yeah. So part of the second batch of girls that went, and my sister was supposed to go, but her date kept getting pushed back. So I was there, and it was sad for my sister, because she told everyone at school that she wasn't going to be at school the next day. And then Mom got a letter saying, yeah, they pushed your date back. So she didn't get to be in the second set of girls with me. And then she had to go to school. My sister was crying up a storm. I don't want to go. I don't want to go back to school, because Milton Hershey canceled her trip. And then, so when I came home, my sister had everything. She had a record player. She had records. She had a room to herself. We shared that room. That's my sister. And she said she'll never forget that Mom, pretty much, because she was the only kid at home, whatever she wanted, she got. Sean Shockley still lives in that house we grew up in as kids. We used to ride down the stairs on the banister, like the Brady Bunch kids. You cross your leg over and ride down the banister. We had a wall upstairs between the two rooms, between the rooms, you know, you walk down the hallway. We used to have races to climb up, and who could hit the ceiling the fastest. And as adults, you still want to go back and be like, I'll race you, you know, just stupid stuff.
Please don't go down the banister. Please don't go down the banister.
Break a hip.
When we come here, we'll all snuggle in. Sean is the losing Dallas fan, and my sister and I are Eagles fans.
That's right.
And so we'll be like just talking trash. We talk trash when we were kids. We talk trash as adults. We'll be talking trash forever. But because I had an older sister at the milk, I was in with all of the older people at the milk. I was in elementary. I went in junior division, so I knew they knew me, I didn't know them. Everybody in intermediate division seemed to know me. And then when I got moved up, we got moved up early, and I went to student home Elmwood. All of these girls from all of these other clusters, like, oh, that's Judy's sister. That's Judy's sister. So if you have a sibling at the milk that's older, you pretty much have it wrapped. So I had a brother who was 3 years older than me. So I had people when I was in intermediate division from senior division was like, Lise, come here. I'm like, how do you know me? It's because of that sibling bond. And when my brother would see me in church, he would come over and give me a big hug. When my sister would see me, we talk. We were all on all the same sports teams. We were just fire, pretty much. The Shockleys were fire. And we looked out for each other, and we backed up, one another. And if anybody needed anything, we were there for them. And that's the same to say that, like, I didn't know this story. Jeff Whitney, when he went up to see any vision, my brother Lester, also known as Tink, he somebody was bullying him, and he said whatever he said, and Jeff said, shock. He said, whatever your brother did, he had me. He had me. He said, I ain't had no trouble from nobody from then on out. I was like, what? I said, my older brother? He said, yeah. He said, your brother always looked out for me. But I could say that too about some people in the mill were friends of mine that were having trouble. Like, I never had issues. When they were having issues with people picking on them or bullying them, I was like, I could just silence that crowd. But when you have that village, people standing with you from other, higher grades, and it makes a difference because that's family support.
Yeah.
Black, white, blue, green, purple, and indifferent. When somebody older is standing behind you and supporting you, at the mill especially, it was immense. No part of that was small. So I'm grateful for my siblings. We talk, my sister and I often, my brother my older brother when he needs something, and my little brother when it's time to get pies and cakes and that kind of thing.
We all have our connections.
Yeah. So if I'm baking, they're just like, well, I didn't get mine. So we usually do a large, I don't know if we do it this year because my daughter passed, but we usually do a gigantic cookie bake. And then we send cookies to all of our neighbors and our friends and our coworkers. Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, my brother was like, oh, Lisa, I saw those cookies on Facebook. Oh, a brother needs some cookies. You could just send a brother some cookies. I greatly appreciate it.
That sounds like Sean.
Actually, that's Tink. Tink wants Sean to come drive to Delaware and pick up his cookies. But Tink wants me to send them to Boston. Yeah, everybody's got that family connection. And
I wanted to ask you, who's the oldest sister that was the older sister that was there before you?
Judy Angela Louise Shockley. That's her full.
Okay.
That's her state name. I call her
Lisa.
Lois.
I just wanted to say, my heart goes out to you. I followed everything on Facebook and right here. You got me in the feels.
Hey.
You did. I'm so sorry.
Today's our anniversary. And when I had Tanisha, she walked down the aisle with us. And so this is the first year that she's not with us on our anniversary. And that's hard.
Yeah.
But my husband surprised me with flowers at work.
Okay.
And then he came in from work with crab legs and shrimp and all this bag of goodies. I got a good
one.
That's comfort food.
That's
right
sweet.
there.
No, I like that.
He said, Tanisha's watching over you right now. He said, but here's something for you to eat while we're here. So he ate a couple pieces with me, and then he ran out to work. But this has been, the challenge started August 9th. And it's just been really hard. But, when you have a baby, you just think, that you'll go before them. And then when they go before you, it's just really, it's the
not natural.
Yeah, but God's got her and God's got us. And part of the milk, when we were at the milk, my mom signed us up for second church. Like if we were home, we were in church literally all day. And but when we were at the milk, we had to go into second church. So if you didn't see your siblings in other places, another place that you would see them was in second church. And but that foundation that my mom put down for us and instilled in us is something like in times like these, that you fall back on, that love for God and the comfort, 2 Corinthians 1, 3, and 4, that God is a comforting, and he's going to comfort the comforter. So he's going to bring levels so that we can go to work. So I know one of my girlfriends said she lost her son and she wasn't able to go to work for like 7 months. And I lost my daughter to COVID, and I was on the job in 2 weeks. So it was tough, but I mean, it's good to get back too. You know what I mean? It's hard, but you gotta keep pushing. And Tanisha was one where she wouldn't, like, enough, mom, get it together. Keep it moving. I'm fine. So with that, I know she's fine. But the memories and the love that you have, for someone that you love, that's the challenging part. That's the real challenging part. So if you've ever lost someone, I know most people haven't lost a baby yet, but if you've ever lost someone, it just hurts. My grandmother, my mom was the first of the 9 to go. And we had other cousins too in Milton Hershey, John Adams, Tony Adams, Andre.
Oh, the Adams was your cousins?
Yep.
I didn't know that. They was in my student home, yo. I didn't even know that.
Yep. The Adams were my cousin. The Browns were my cousin. And so the oldest of the children, my mom was the oldest girl. She died first. A year later, March 20th, 2012, my uncle died. And then my aunt died on my birthday. Long story short, it was 5 of them that left that year of 2012. And my grandmother, when my Uncle Leonard died, refused to go to his funeral. He was the oldest boy. He died of cancer. And she said, I refuse. I can't do it. You do it once, you do it twice, you're like, you do it 3 times and you're like, but 4 and 5, she was like, she couldn't do it anymore. So, but the grace that she showed through it all and the strength that she showed through it all, I'm like, if Grandmom Sarah can get through 5, I can definitely get through 1. But that's, again, instilled with the peace that you have with understanding that God is in control and everything's for a reason. And although you may not see it or understand it, you may come to understand it. But back to the milk.
besides your blood family, you've got the milk family too.
Yeah. And I was surprised to see the number that showed up too at Tanisha's funeral. I was really surprised. We were thinking maybe 100 people would come. We set up chairs for 150. At the end, when I started getting more people saying they were coming, we set up another 75 chairs. All of those chairs were filled and people were standing up. It was amazing.
Well, that was for you and your family. You know that. That was your strength coming in to be there for you.
Yeah. We just kept praying the whole time. So we just kept praying. But our milk family is strong. And there are some milks that we talk to daily, like the Wilsons. Aretha Wilson, Vernell Wilson, Vincent Wilson, the Shockleys and the Smiths have been friends since we first went to the milk. It's just crazy. April Massey, when she and her brother, Keith Massey, were at the milk, we were tight. I still talk to April. April got out our sophomore year and was trying to get back. Miss Royer wouldn't let it happen.
Ugh, Miss Royer.
So they have a different story.
Keeper.
Right.
Well, you know what? I'm so happy that you wanted to speak. Look, the show's going over an hour. I really don't want to end it, but look, Lisa came here, and that's all I really wanted was Lisa and Abdullah. Lisa and Abdullah. That's all I cared about.
Oh, you know what?
Everybody else, y'all know, I love you. I love that. I really love you, but I don't talk to Lisa. This is, I think the first phone call we ever had was last night. You know what I mean?
First phone call. Aside from seeing each other at cookouts and milk events, getting our yearly picture. We have a picture we take, and during our hug, yeah.
So that, so I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the Shockleys. I learned a lot about you. I used to think you were the oldest. I didn't know Judy was the oldest. I thought Judy was under you. That's how much I don't know. And that's why I'm glad we had it.
Because everyone says that I act like the oldest, and she gets mad at me because she says, you act like the oldest. Everyone thinks you're the oldest. And that's because I like to boss people around. And she says, but I'm the oldest, so you listen to me. So
and then she get the boss.
Yeah.
It's all good. Yeah. It's all good. Oh,
and answer the last question. Who's the favorite? Sean.
I knew, you didn't have to tell me. I already knew it had to be Sean, the way he acts.
Yeah. That's why he's such a brat.
It's all good. Is Sean like the youngest?
Yeah.
There you go. But it's all good. It's all good.
Sean was actually in my student home when I got there in second grade. And to this day, when he see me, he makes sure that he definitely showed me love, no matter where we are. So we're talking about 40-something years of friendship.
Whew.
Still don't make him the favorite.
He was in my student home in Sherman. Like him and I was in Sherman together. So
what year were you in Sherman? I was in Sherman. I was in Sherman in 77. What year were you in Sherman?
Oh man. God, I don't know. I just know I was 7 or 8.
No, I just wanted to say I was in the same student home as Judy.
If you ain't coming on, call me later.
It's like,
yep, Elfie was in the same student home. Rockford,
I was in the same student home. I was in the same student home with your sister. And I said, she had no problem bossing people around. We were in Rockridge together. But no, everybody looked up to her. It was her and Angela Green. And April Massey was also in Rockridge. So it's funny, like all the people that you just mentioned that you're tied with, that I was in the same student home with. But yeah, like, and forget about it. The Shockleys and the track, you guys were like the track team with Annette Boynes and
Annette Boynes. Another one I talk to all the time. I talk to Annette. Tony Boynes made some amazing food while we were going through a really tough time and dropped it off. There's just so many good people. The Federico family, they were just sending prayers. And when you just say milk, there's so many siblings, families that are close with families, you know what I mean? So when you say one, you're like, oh, did you tell this one? Oh no, they already heard it from Missy, or they heard it from Patty, or the word got through the grapevine like that. But when Milton Hershey provided something that we didn't have, which was the balance of what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. Because Mom was working 2 jobs. My mom, our house went down in a flood. Our daddy was gone. She was never home. We always saw babysitters, and we were shuffled between homes. So we didn't have that balance, but Milton Hershey gave balance. And when I went to college, I kept that balance. I would get up at 6 o'clock. I would be at the cafeteria by 7. I was at my first class by 8. I was finished all my classes by 3:30 to be at the gym by 5, practice until 7, go to the cafeteria, go back to the student home, take a shower, rinse and repeat the next day. That Milton Hershey cycle is a lifesaver.
Everyone knew where you were going to be and what you were doing.
Yeah.
That was the good thing about Milton Hershey, because you had structure and you had people who were always like aware of you and where you were supposed to be. And when you're in a single home, the parent has to be the breadwinner, period. You know what I'm saying? They got to make that money for you. So So I'm grateful for that part of being at the Milt. I do. Sometimes I wish things were a little different. Like sometimes I wish I grew up at home. You know what I mean? But then I see the siblings I have that did grow up at home. You know what I mean? And what they go through. And I'm like, that's how I know I was blessed. My mom did a good job. She sent me there. I hated it because I was a mama's boy. I was like, what the hell you separate me from you for? What? You know what I'm saying? I just didn't understand. But it was the best decision she made for me and her. You know what I mean? So, I'm grateful for all my siblings, blood or not blood. You know what I'm saying?
I think my sister resented me for going to Milton Hershey. Like I said, she was older, but, we didn't have money. There was times we were eating mayonnaise sandwiches. I'm sure there's a lot in here that have been there, that mayonnaise
sandwiches. That's good.
You had mayo? Yeah, that kind of thing.
You had bread?
And some margarine, right? I mean, it gets there. But when I first met, I was mad at my mom when she sent me because I was like, you don't want me. And, I couldn't see anything wrong. My mom never made it seem like it was a bad thing that we were poor. Let's just put it that way. It wasn't a horrible thing. It was just an inconvenience and oh well. So I didn't see it. And I think because I went to Milton Hershey and my sister used to call it Nicey Wicey Milton Hershey. I remember. And it's because I was getting the education I needed. I was getting clothes. Even though we downed the clothes and the shoes, and those shoes got worse, by the way. Really bad, like falling
apart. Get out of here.
They're not getting Stacey Adams anymore. Remember, my boys were there and they had these propels, they're called, and the foam was coming off and the sole was falling off of them. Yeah. And my kids literally ran the soles off the shoes that they give them now, and they give them Crocs. So, but anyway, so yeah, I used to be mad at my mom for sending me, and I couldn't understand it because I was always with my mom or my sister, and my sister ended up, when she did the drugs and took off, her and I didn't talk for a long time. There was a year that I refused to talk to her because, look who showed up.
You know what I'm saying? He don't call and interrupted the show like 5 times, and now he want to show up. You know what I'm saying?
I told him. Anyway, but I just think my sister held that against me because I got nicer things than she ended up getting, her growing up. But she was that much older, she wouldn't have had that opportunity anyway.
What's up, Andre? Andre Redmond.
Yo, what's going on?
What you want? You come all late. The show's damn near over. What you want, man?
I know. No, I told you I was getting long, man. Hey, what's up? What's up? I'm kind of hurting a little bit, but I'm good.
You hurting?
Yeah. I told you it was a Marine Corps birthday today, man. I was down there.
Oh, so y'all was doing things. Y'all was being crazy people.
Down on 4th and Oregon.
So crazy and drinking, and I'm good though. So what's up with the siblings? What are we talking about?
We're talking about.
Never mind, we're done.
We're talking about everything outside of you because you wasn't here. I had to say my twin is doing the Marine thing because I don't count like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God!
What I mean? My feelings hurt. I cried. I cried and everything, yo.
You missed it. Look, we all had tissues.
Yeah, I know, man. Boy. Oh my God.
All right, since you showed up in your drunken state, why don't you you'll be more honest now. So why don't you just tell us how you feel about your siblings? Because I already said what I had to say.
So he did. I feel good. Me and you twin, we've been good. You know what's funny was how mom used to make us wear the same clothes all the time. We was fighting.
Clothes.
Yeah, over clothes. Whose clothes was who? But one thing I'll say mom did good, when we told her we didn't want to be looking like it anymore, she's like, okay. And then the lady's like, no, you make them wear it. And she was like, no, they got feelings too. That's when I really started loving mom, man. I think we was like 4 or 5 at the time. Yeah. I remember me and Aries used to go at it when we were small, and I punch him and I run.
All the time. Oh, tell him about Tippy, yo. Tell him about Tippy.
Oh, what?
Oh, Aaron hit me so hard I flew, so I threw my cat on him.
He used to grab Tippy all the time. That wasn't no one-time thing. He used to grab. We had a Siamese cat, right? And she loved us, so he used to pick her up when he was mad at me and just throw her at me. And she had her claws, so she would just come out like this with the claws out. You know what I'm saying? It was abuse. It was abuse, yo. That's why I hit him so hard. But you know what? For real, we didn't fight though. We really didn't fight. We had one little fight, and we made somebody so mad he whipped our butts, and we never fought after that. You know what I mean? We just we got along. We got along for the most part.
Yeah. We did. And then older brothers always promising us stuff, and
always
to it. And then when the one stole our class rings, man, that was heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking. Yeah, stole our class rings and for drugs. So that was heartbreaking. But for the most part, I think we're good with them now, my older brothers and older sisters, but it ain't the same since we had left and went to Hershey. You know what I mean? Like, we still call and love, but it's not the same tightness as it was before we had left the Hershey. Like when we first came back, when we first graduated. But over the years, it came back. Mm-hmm. But when we first came back, I didn't know who they were. You know what I mean? We ain't seen them in Aaron? I think once or twice.
8 years.
Yeah, once or twice in 8 years.
Maybe once or twice in 8 years. Mm-hmm. From 10 to 18.
Yeah. So we ain't really know how to be with them. So, and after a while, it all came back. But that was weird. That was kind of weird. And the cousins too. And the cousins too. Like, we didn't know them. Like, it was just sad. Like, everybody was doing their thing together, but they didn't include us because we weren't around for a long time.
So even now, you don't have Thanksgiving with your family or Christmas or
we do now.
July 4th.
Well, usually it's like me and Andre.
And we'll go visit everybody. We'll go visit everybody. Because everybody got their families and stuff now. So we'll go, all right, I'm here for a couple of hours, and then we just make our round the whole day. You know what I mean?
We hot. If we're not cooking ourselves, we house hot. We just go from house to house.
They don't want to cook. They want to just go to everybody else's house to eat and then move on for the next meal to the next house. Breakfast.
No. We usually cook our own at home first. And then we go eat that food up, yo. This is strategy. This way, when we come home, we can still have Thanksgiving at home, yo. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gotta take
it's like the Redmond Pac-Man game show.
You gotta get it where you take it. Take it where you get it. Take it and love it, yo.
Yeah. But but now we're good with all our cousins now and everything. But at first it just wasn't like that. We just didn't know them because we ain't seen them in 8 years, 10 years, 8 years. Yeah.
We grew up apart. That was the problem. We grew up apart. When I used to see Camilla and Attila, they used to pick on me every time. Every time they would say, "Hey, fatty, hey, fatty." I hated them.
But it's not like that. Stop it. I was
look at him. Look at fatty over there. Look at fatty. I'd be so mad. Oh my God.
No.
Oh my God. Leave that boy alone.
I would say, Aaron, the fat one. I'm not gonna be mean with it. Now
I was the fat one. My whole family called me fat, yo. They had no problem addressing my eating issue, yo. I had to get so used to it that I used to just, I just had to learn how to bust. So I learned how to bust.
Sorry, Aaron.
Now they call me Aaron. Now they call me Aaron, Lisa. They call me Aaron now. They don't do none of that fatty stuff because they know it's coming. They know it's coming. I gotta back them.
We love you, Aaron.
He's got it locked and loaded. He's waiting.
Locked and loaded and ready. As soon as I see.
Oh my goodness.
Did you hear that? Did y'all hear that? The serious one was always Andre. Did you hear that? Did you hear that now?
I see the skinny one. We always say Andre was the skinny one.
They didn't even say Andre. They just say not the fat one.
No, not me.
That was look. This wasn't just my cousins. This was all the way up and down, from grand all the way up and down. Wonder why I'm fat now. I stayed fat just to be mad about it.
I love you as you are.
I don't know if I'd
Aaron,
recognize you
when you lost all that weight and you said you hated it because the gay guys would approach you.
Oh my God. Yo, I didn't know there was that many gay people in Philadelphia, yo. I lost the weight. And the eyes kind of pop out and the cheeks and all that kind of shit. And let me tell you, I can remember standing on the train. I was on the train going to work. It was crowded. Everybody was like this, you know what I'm saying? And this guy was holding the same pole, you know. He's like, I'm so close I could kiss you. And the whole car went, oh.
I was like,
that's my life, yo. That's my life, man. When I lose weight, them gays be loving me. I be like, why y'all love me so much? Leave me alone. Be like, it's the voice. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I have nothing against you, but it's weird when a man's attracted to you, yo. You don't know what that is.
So basically, you gained weight again as a defensive device. Is that what that is? Defensive move.
I'm not that kind of punk. No, I ain't that scared of, yo. No, I gain weight
like a puffer fish.
I just like to eat, yo. I like to eat. But this time I gained weight because I did lose a lot of weight. But this time I gained weight because of COVID and all that kind of stuff. You know, I got stuck in the house. You know, I got mental issues. And what do a mental issue do? He eat, yo. He eat. So I was eating, you know what I'm saying? I had operations. Then I lost the weight again, started eating. Look, this weight thing has always been there. I'm always going to be fighting it. But I'm okay with it. It is what it is. Everybody has their fight. Everybody has their fight, yo. You know, the only difference between most people's and my fight is you can see my fight. You know what I mean? So I'm good. I'm
never going to be skinny like I was again. Okay, whatever.
I'm trying to get that.
I'm okay with mine still. I gained a lot of weight. Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. Abdullah ain't saying nothing because Abdullah good. He like
Abdullah been skinny all his life.
I know. Yeah,
he thinks about a diet and loses 10 pounds. Can't stand him.
Yeah. I never looked at you as fat, right? But like when I, growing up, I watching the Cosby Kids, right, and Fat Albert, and then it's like, for me, I'm like, wow, I see Fat Albert and I see you being big, and I'm thinking, like you're an actor, or you're gonna be an actor, or it's just like I always looked at you differently. Like it's just like your character, right? I never looked at you as like and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I did call you fat when I was a kid because I'm a kid.
No, you never did, Abdullah. Never. You never did.
You were like my real Fat Albert. Like man, like I
that's because he's a director.
Like an actor or something. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean that was that was my show when I was a kid, man. That was my show.
It's all good.
I didn't see an Aaron that often anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's true.
But then
you had one cousin out of 50 that didn't call you fat.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Maybe two, because him, Abdullah and Yusuf, them two never called me fat. Never called me fat boy. Never went there on the fat.
Man, it was out of love when I was saying to you. You know it.
But his sisters made up immensely for that.
Their favorite descriptive word.
It made them feel good to say it. You can see how it made them feel good. It was like, he's here.
Yeah, you know, I would never say nothing intentionally to hurt your feelings or anybody's feelings. You know, we'll play with you. And
Y'all play too hard. Y'all play too hard. I don't like y'all.
It hurt my feelings to know you got hurt. Well, Aaron, I can tell you a secret about me. What I'm very insecure about.
What?
No, I had broke my nose when I was younger, and I never really got surgery on it. So I always hated my nose. So
really?
Yeah.
Really? You was always a beautiful girl to me. I never know that.
I never seen anything. I never do that.
Yeah, it's like you never know what people go through, you know, like insecurities, you know. So
I hear you.
She did say it a lot less than Camilla, and that's probably why. That's probably why she thought I was gonna come back on that nose. I didn't even see the nose.
Oh
shit! I think Camilla wrote songs, didn't she, Aaron?
She just man. That girl used to get on my nerves. And my mom used to say, "We going to grandma's." And I'd be like, "So who's gonna be there?" "Oh, you know, Camilla and them all that."
Camilla's a sporty little brat.
As soon as I walk in, "Hey, Fatty! Hey, Fatty's here! My cousin!"
I think we love you.
I knew you loved me, but it was annoying as hell, yo. It's all good. Listen, y'all, we've been on here for over an hour and a half, you know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all of you coming. This was like a very nice thing, you know what I mean? I had no idea how it was going to be. And listen, I do this for me. I do this because I am an introvert and I don't see my people. So this is like more in me. Like I say this almost every time. Look, this means more to me than you ever know. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to, before I start crying and shit, I felt something. I was like, nope. But I just want to say I love you all. You know, you're all family to me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful to have you in my life. And thanks for coming. And say bye to everybody because this is a family thing. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Thanks for having me.
You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you.
Take care. I appreciate you too.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right, no problem. Until next time.
All right, Emo.
Bye, Dre.
Bye, John Boy.
All right.
All right, that's enough.